Welcome to King Conversations. We're here with Andrew Moore, a rising sophomore at Clark Atlanta University. How you feel today?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So you completed your first year of college.
Yeah.
Tell us, before we even get to that, tell us where you from, where you went to high school. Just give us a little something about yourself.
Okay. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, inner city. I actually graduated from Lincoln Prep High School. Um, I would say all the other schools I went to in the city, but it's a lot of
You can
them.
give them shout outs if you want, if it's important.
I went to Kaufman for a little bit, and then I went to Hogan too, but that's about it. Yeah.
In high school, I didn't know that.
Nah, I went to Lincoln Whole High School. I went to Kaufman before Lincoln and Hogan. So Hogan was like elementary, and Kaufman was middle school, and then Lincoln.
So when you graduated from Lincoln, how did you decide on Clark Atlanta University?
So really, I had, we was a little group we had in high school, all of us together. We always been like, let's go to Atlanta.
Shout them out, shout them out.
Shout out my guys, Zay, Marcus, Braden, Ray out there with us. Even the whole group, like Zoe, Dorian, all my guys, we all just like, we going to college. So I always told myself, if I'm going to go somewhere, I'm going to go to Atlanta. I'm deep into politics. That's like the black mecca of everything. Like you could find anything in Atlanta. So I was like, okay, this is my best chance. I really wanted to go to Morehouse. That's my dream school. Well, it was. But I feel like God showed me that Clark is good in the same amount of ways, and I get the same, what am I looking at, experience going to Clark as I would have got at Morehouse. Like I feel like the experience that I actually wanted is the Clark one and not the Morehouse one.
True. God don't make no mistakes. So do you think Lincoln College Preparatory Academy prepared you adequately for Clark Atlanta?
Lincoln prepared me, in social aspects and in the classroom, because I feel like Lincoln was just because of the demeanor we have as a school, it's not like laid back, but you're going to have to do that work yourself, kind of like college. Like nobody's going to force you. Lincoln already has the name, like you at the school for a reason. They don't need you type. That's what I mean. And then social, like just having a whole bunch of friends, being out, being able to do stuff. That's what college is, joining clubs, meeting new people, networking. And I feel like Lincoln really opened my eyes with that, because you got every walks of life in Lincoln. You got more than just black kids. You got literally everything at that school. So
to the academic side, it was a smooth transition. Was your first semester like your second semester, or did you have to pick up on some things? What advice would you give to high school? Was that transitioning from high school going to college? What makes it work?
So for me, my first semester I struggled, and that's because I just had too much freedom and I really didn't know what to do with it. So second semester, I'll say this: college isn't gonna make you find your purpose, because that's what I thought first semester. Like you have to get up and go look for that on your own. So I will say after first semester, what changed me second semester, and like what bettered me being a college person, was finding my purpose, or finding what I'm good at and what I actually want to do.
So when you say finding your purpose, we can go on and on about different things. Just keep going.
What I mean, find your purpose in a college way. So everybody has a major. Like you can major in business, political science. You have to be more than what your major is. You should have, or for me, what I would say is have a career goal attached to the major. Like just because I hear a lot of people like business management degree, like what's next? You can't just say I want to own a business. That's what I'm saying. Like my passion with political science is deeper than just doing classwork for it and getting a degree. Like I'm deep into politics. I want to be a politician. I want to be the mayor. So I feel like that's what drove me harder, not just because I'm doing this work. It's because I need to do this work so I can do what I want to do in life.
Where you want to be the mayor? Where?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City. What I can really, really appreciate about that is I'm much like you. Graduated from high school in Kansas City, went to college in Atlanta, but I'm back in Kansas City.
Yeah.
I can appreciate the fact that you can go a place, pick up what you learn from there, and then bring it back home and share that, because so many people don't leave Kansas City and think this is the only thing.
Right.
But like you said, you're in the Mecca, you're in Atlanta, heavily rooted in really black politics, black entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the civil rights, of course, were centered around the Atlanta area. So I really, really commend you and appreciate that you had that vision of going out, seeing the world, and bringing it back and making your hometown a better place. That's commendable.
Appreciate that. That's kind of how I was feeling. So second semester, I started to really dive in like politically local politics in Atlanta, and I think diving into that made me realize that the problem with Kansas City isn't. I used to always think it was the what am I thinking of? The federal government, not the state level or the municipal level. Like, but that's a level that really affects you as a person in your city because they're the ones that lead the city. You know, so it made focusing on Atlanta politics made me think, okay, if I could do this here, and I know this person in Atlanta, I need to find who the mayor is, who are the people working his offices in Kansas City, so we can get some change. Because I feel like I was more focused on changing Atlanta than I am where I'm from, and I kind of don't ever want that. I want the city to know who I am and know what my purpose is, know what I'm trying to do here.
So here's one for you. Did you meet any politicians in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a chance to go and meet anybody, or what did you do?
So I met, I can't forget his. Oh yeah, I do know his name. His name is Theo Pace. He's
Shout
actually
out to Theo, class of '98.
He is the chief of staff for the Atlanta's mayor office. He took me on a tour and just talked to me, just gave me game, and that was like one of the best experiences I had in Atlanta because it just made me really see that it's people that look like me from similar situations. You know, he went to Morehouse, I go to Clark, around the same area, and it just made me feel like my goal is reachable because I see other people doing it. Another shout out to Attorney Miley Davis. He just always kept his hand on my shoulder, allowed me to grow, been a very good mentor. All my organizations and stuff that I've been doing, he's really put me onto it. But yeah. Oh yeah, and I met Mayor Andre Dickens, a whole bunch of Atlanta lawyers. I meet a lot of them. But like really seeing these successful people is something I'm not used to. Like I'm not used to seeing a successful black lawyer that looks like me from the hood or from whatever and still made it. And now they make good money, like crazy money. Like
That's dope. Oh, one thing we can talk offline about this, but they're having a marriage conference in Kansas City this coming or Thursday, kicking off Thursday. So I think Mr. Theo Pace will be here. My guy, shout out to Steve Reed, who's the first black mayor of Montgomery.
Okay.
He'll be in town too, so I'm gonna need to make sure you're able to connect with them as well. This is gonna be hosted right here in Kansas City.
Okay.
That's awesome. And what I love, you've only finished your first year of school. And you've already reached out to the community. You've already started to see what is possible. So it's only gonna go up from here.
That's definitely the plan.
So you didn't completely finish it, but I've taken your grades. You were able to be a little bit more focused second semester.
So I feel like I said, attaching a purpose, but with my major, it made my grades better because I was like, it was bigger than school at this point. So I ain't gonna lie, I've always been a person like, you know, if I can get to this point and pass, and that's what it is. But figuring out that you can't just be just enough, like, especially at HBCU, that's what they preach to you. You got to do 2 times more to be just as good. So, I don't know, that's the attitude that I woke up with every day. Like, you might not love school. Well, I know I don't. I don't love the idea of school at all, but I know to stay here, I got to have good grades. And to stay here, that's how I'm going to build my network. That's how I'm going to build my political career. So, the grades to me is a small part of the engine, but they definitely matter. And I wish I would have figured out and told myself that at a younger age in high school, you know, so school might have been free, or I might have already started my political career and already been, you know, really getting stuff done because people would have took me way more serious. Like, okay, he doing it in high school too. But that's a little bit of advice I got too.
Right. Okay. One thing I love about HBCUs. Politics, Atlanta University Center. The average person doesn't understand how real running for office at an HBCU is. How real those campaigns are. Even things like, so you were Mr. Political Science. First semester, freshman year, fresh out the box, 2 or 3 months on campus. What gave you the energy to say, you know what, I'm going to step up and throw my name in the hat to be Mr. Political Science?
So, just like seeing, I guess like taking advice from the older guys I seen at Clark. I seen all the guys at Clark Atlanta that are in a position that I want to be. They were Mr. something. So I'm like, okay, this is the blueprint. And then I was like, okay, it's my major. My major isn't heavily, not a lot of dudes are in at my school. So I was like, this race won't be that hard, you know. And then once you get it, then that's good. You're a freshman, Mr. Political Science. And that's all I kept thinking about was, you know, I need this for my resume. And then it was just once I got to the position, it was an empowerment. Like I always tell people this: if you at your HBCU, or you can be a mister somewhere and miss something, do it. It puts you in the rooms that regular students don't get into. I got to meet with a mayor's conference in Atlanta. Like all the mayors from different cities was in the room, and I only got to be in that room because I missed the political science. You get to really you get your own name out there because now people are saying, okay, this is Mr. Political Science, Mr. This, Mr. That. You get to have your own events. So that's really how I felt about it. And then I always recommend it to somebody, like, always go and try. Before I came to HBCU, I didn't know nothing about being a Mr., a Mrs., a pageant, none of that. Like, that probably wasn't something I never would have tried. Suits, none of that. But, like, I don't know. I feel like the persona of it fit me now because that's what I'm going for.
You look good in your suit, by the way, man.
Thank you. I've been trying. Yeah, I've been trying.
You gotta look the part. And another thing about HBCUs that and I can go on and on and on. I feel like the classroom and your grades is probably like 25-30% of the education.
Yeah.
So much education goes on in the extracurriculars, networking with students, running for office. All of that is an integral part of the education that prepares you for the world, prepares you to be successful in whatever field you go in. So the fact that you starting off doing that freshman year, and I know I pushed this to y'all hard, have good summers, college goes by faster than you think. The fact that you jump right in and get to it, that's real business. It's gonna take you far because second year, you're a sophomore, you're not a freshman no more, so you think you know a little something, but it picks up and it goes faster and harder, and you can start to see the cream rise to the top.
Yep.
I mean, first off, when you get back, there's gonna be some people that aren't there that were there last year.
Right.
They always say, look to your left, look to your right.
Yeah, they did say that. That first that commencement speech we had, they was like, look to your left, look to your right. You might not see them.
You might not see them, but it keeps going.
Right.
And you have to do whatever it takes to make sure that you are still
at the top.
Yep. You're still there. When they look to the left, they see Drew Moore.
I will say this too. Be eager with positions or anything. So, me, I'm involved with a whole bunch of organizations. So, Mr. Political Science, I ended that this year, but I'm on the Political Science Association e-board. So now I'm kind of like the Mr. Political Science boss. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, keep building. Yeah. So now I'm a part of CAU. I'm on the e-board. I'm the community outreach director and community service. So just like I said, just putting yourself in rooms where you want people to know you at. So that's what I just keep trying to do. Like, be eager about it. Like, go get anything I see them post for the position. No matter, even if you don't feel like you got the grades, you don't got enough community service, you don't feel like you got enough to say, it might not fit your role or what you want to do, just go ahead and apply. Like, for real, this is one of them cases where it's just a no. Like it's not like talking to a girl, she might say something bad to you. It's literally just, all right, we're not going to accept you today. So that's okay. You get a million no's a day, and that one yes could change your career, your life, for real.
Oh, that's facts. So what do you think about HBCUs, of course, predominantly black schools, going to a school where there's people from all across the country, probably even other countries?
Yeah.
Have you learned about the diversity of black people?
So, actually, that is a good topic. So, the African diaspora is something that I really learned about in Atlanta. So, in Kansas City, I'm pretty much surrounded by, I kind of say the same kind of black people. Like, we're city people, we kind of know what's going on. So, I never really knew. I mean, of course, it's other types out there, but I have, friends like my friend Mo. He's a real, first generation. Like, his parents are from Nigeria and he's from here. So it's like hearing about that type of stuff and being able to build a connection with people like that and get to learn our culture. I won't even just say African dances because they're all ours. Like, you're African. So that's what I'll try to do too. I try to identify myself as that and not try to say, oh, those are Africans. Like, we are all one. And then just with learning about everybody, I learned how we all fit into it, and that it opened my eyes on so much. Like, I'm really on the equality thing. Like, I never wanted to be like somebody, like the LGBTQ community, like, even involved within the black community. sometimes they feel like they gotta hide themselves to join our revolutions, and I don't feel like that's right. Because if we gonna do this thing and do it the right way, then everybody needs a voice. That's why I got my own political organization, the New African Independence Party. We got a little bit of everything. And it's chartered at Clark Atlanta. I started that second semester. So
Tell us. So what's the mission of that organization?
So for me, actually, I'll give you the whole rundown. So second semester, Attorney Miley Davis, he came into one of our classes and was talking to us, and I just kept hearing this thing about, like I always think about black political parties, like the Black Panthers, just because they were so impactful with the little time they had. So I was thinking, like, how can us as a people keep fighting against this broken system? Like we're asked every year and demanded every year to be a Republican or a Democrat, knowing that the Republicans, Democrats were never made in our favor. So my idea was, let's make something new. So I presented this idea to him. He told me, he was like, he actually didn't tell me anything. He had me read and research stuff. So he gave me a book of an all-black political convention they had in Indiana in the 70s. And it really just broke down how us as a people was making a whole political party, like from the minimum wage to how much we want from reparations, who we would have where. And reading that, I'm like, okay, this is a real life thing. And then once he told me that, I'm like, okay, there's real entities out here in the world right now that I wouldn't have to create, that are looking for people to promote. So I met a brother named Khalid Rahim. He's actually the founder of the NAIP in Pennsylvania. He gave me a call. He was like, obviously I got connected with him, but me and him just talking, he was like, he heard my vision about what I want. And he said, we should start chartering the NAIP at different HBCUs and different schools, like, because certain colleges, well, actually all colleges have young Democrats and young Republicans. So if he said, we need to prepare political minds to be ready to be, new Africans, so we can get in our own mindset of politicalness and not with a Democrat being or Republican being. So that's kind of why I made it, and that's what I'm pushing.
That's awesome. Have you spread to other campuses yet, or you got seeds planted?
So the plan is to start, obviously, like I said, I always want to get Kansas City right, make sure I'm always planting a flag here. Sometime before I leave, I want to make a chapter at Lincoln. So then I feel like that idea is really smart to me, because a whole bunch of Lincoln students go to HBCUs. So if we started in Lincoln, I can get somebody who went to Lincoln and they graduate 2025, and they'll go to, let's say they go to Virginia State. Now I have somebody that goes to Virginia State in the political party, and they might be like, let me make my chapter in my school.
Right.
But my goal is by this year, I have an AUC chapter where we got Clark, Spelman, Morehouse. I would like one in Morris Brown, and then Georgia State, and just all the schools surrounding. Like, I really want to make this something big, so where when you looking at political parties, it's like, oh, the NAIP right here. And then even with my future endeavors and being a politician, that's the political crowd I would run under.
Awesome.
Democratic sound. The Democrat might be the safe one because that's where the money at. That's what most people do. But it's something I really believe in. I feel like, and the only way to do it is do it. Like, you can't be waiting for somebody else to do it. I got to be the one to do it.
Good deal. So with all this going on, how are you able to prioritize your time and still have a social life?
So that's what it is. So kind of how you were saying, the 20%, the 20 to 30% that's in the class, the rest of it is 70. So there's people I'm in class with learning the same things that are just like me. We hang out after class. Like I said, I came with my 4 best friends from high school basically, and of course I'm gonna find time to hang out with them, even if I gotta, like I used to do some days. I used to have my suit on. I'll go to class. They dorm probably like 10 minutes away. I'll walk to their dorm, chill with them for a little bit. I know I got a meeting, go to the meeting, right after the meeting, get changed, go back over there, just because, like, in college, you just got so much, it's kind of like free time. Like, if I'm not doing something, then I'm not doing nothing, so I might as well go hang out with them, and that's kind of how I feel. Like, if I wasn't in class or in the meeting, probably hanging out with the guys, because, it just really ain't too much to do. Yeah.
Did you have time to represent the Kansas City Chiefs? Like, do people know you from Kansas City,
Definitely.
or you like an undercover fan?
So what's funny is whenever we first got like acclimated with the school and got into the group chats to meet people, they said that we was real country, ride on horses, And I remember me, Zay, and Marcus was just telling them, like, just wait for football season. You know, we got y'all here. And then when we won the Super Bowl, it's just like, it's crazy because, like the AUC is a whole bunch of people from everywhere. So somebody might not know where Kansas City at all. And we were just sitting there watching. I'm like, my city really about to win. I'm going to land in front of all these people. It just feel like feel amazing. It's probably the best feeling.
Did people congratulate you as if you had won the Super Bowl personally?
Nah, they was so mad because we pushed it so much. We was like, if y'all let us win the Super Bowl after talking about our city, and they let us win it, and it got bad. We just kept talking to them like, y'all really can't say too much for us. We're world champions in football, so you have to know what Kansas City is.
So is it gonna be a three-peat or what?
Yeah, I got us for three-peat. You know, that's of course I want to see that. I need to see that. If we win one more while I'm in college, I don't want to hear nothing about my city. I might be top 5 in the United States. Top 5.
So switching gears, you planning a trip to Senegal.
Yes.
What's the purpose of the trip? What does that mean to you? Tell the people what you know about Senegal.
So this service trip to Senegal, I'm gonna just give the broad idea. So, well, not the broad. I'm gonna get specific. So, my whole life, kind of like how I'm talking to y'all right now, I've always wanted to go to Africa, figure out what the motherland is, figure out what I am myself, what specific African nation I'm from, and just experience what that's like. Because I feel like that to me is such an eye opener. I'm a big fan of Malcolm X, and when he went to the Mecca, you know, as you see, he came back with a whole new political mindset. He had like a revelation, and he kind of changed his life, and he did it right before he died, probably like a year or two before he died. I think the year. So me doing it at this age and going to travel to somewhere like Senegal where slavery was so present, they actually have a door there where slaves used to walk through to basically like the last time they would be in Africa and taking the slave trip. And that's why I kind of want this specific place. And then just with this trip, it not only does it show me that door, we get to see the tallest statue in Africa. We get to really do a lot of community service. We get to meet with Senegal diplomats. So that's stuff that I want to do. I want to make this connection with the African diaspora bigger than just the United States. Like, if you ask me my true total plan, I want Africa and us to get back. We need to be back one. You know, I feel like it's such a big disconnection right there. And I feel like if it's a generation to do it, it's our generation. When you look at African rappers and the United States rapper, they rap the same, they dress the same, they just talk a little faster. I promise it's the same thing. So if the connection not that off and we not already together, just imagine what it's like if we get combined with them. And that's kind of what my goal is. I want to bring, close the bridge on, those aren't Africans, those are us. Like, we're just as much them as you know, vice versa. And that's kind of why I want to go on a trip. Yeah.
Are there other students from the school going, or?
I think 2 or 3. But it's an HBCU trip. So all the students is going from HBCUs.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So you have an opportunity to meet with other students, plant that seed for the NAIC,
networking,
other campus networking. That's awesome. That is awesome. One of the things that is crazy to me, the movie Coming to America, the movie Black Panther. Those are classics for us, right? And we love them. Great cinema, great acting. It's something very black. But at the same time, it somewhat saddens me that we make up these mythological places, but there's really an Africa.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, we make up Zamunda, we make up Wakanda, but those places have real names, and they're really here.
Yeah.
But as African Americans, I'll say, that have been here because of the slave trade, we are so far distant that we make up those places. That's sad.
That's deep.
And you know, so like, I've been to Africa twice, and you know, made the connection. But I think it is important. I'm excited for you to go, so you can make your own connection and realize, like, we don't need to make up these comic book superhero places when what's already there is more than enough. It's good enough. It's even better than what you can even try and put together in a cinematic experience. So that's just something that always hit me. So you going, it's gonna be a blessing.
Thank you. I definitely want to see what that's like. See what the motherland is like.
So as you prepare, are you doing research on Senegal? What are you doing to mentally prepare to be there?
So personally, I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I haven't done any research. I just been so happy about it, trying to collect the money to go on the trip. But I do want to get to a point where I can start like actually looking up like what's to do in Senegal, and not what's to do like history, because that's another thing that is big to me on why I want to go to Africa. I really don't know African history. Like when I think about it from my school years, Egypt is in Africa, but we always disassociate Egyptians with Africans.
Mm.
So that's something to me. Like I always want to look deeper into the history, figure out what was like, because I have a feeling that they have similar conflicts that United States black people have, and I feel like that's where the connection is, because all black people around the world are struggling. It's not easy for none of us. I feel like we're not like nowhere. So that's kind of where I want to go to, just learn the history of it. And then I feel like before I go, I want to look it up, see what's going on. I know right now they're not in one of those, like how the Congo is. The Congo is like a red area. You can't visit, you can't travel right now because of the genocide. So that stuff I want to look up, like make sure I'm up to date on that, know what's going on before I go to the country.
Like I encourage you to do as much research as possible because like the more you know, the more you can learn because you already have that foundation and that basis. So you can just build on there, and then it'll give you questions to ask, and you can understand things and get a deeper experience. But definitely have a baseline of history and learn as much as you can before you get there, so you can have a starting point. It's like going to a museum in the States. If you don't know anything about it, you're just like,
I do know the Senegal has just elected their youngest president ever. I just see that he's like 38. That's like good stuff to see because it's like, okay, everybody is building up and doing more politically, no matter if it's like I said in the United States or in Africa. It's a win for all of us.
So in your classes or even outside of your classes, there's an election coming up in November.
Mm-hmm.
How are students preparing for that? This will probably be your first time you're able to vote too, huh?
Mm-hmm. First time I'm able to vote. For me, I'll say the way we're preparing, me and a couple other campus leaders that are like politically involved, I asked if we could do like a political awareness. Now I'm bringing my political party, and then he's also he's a part of the Young Democrats, and we'll probably have the Republicans there too. But I'm not going there to have an argument or to tell you which one is better. I'm there to give you education on what's going on. I'm not even tell you who to vote for. I just want us as a people to be more educated and know what's going on and know these people are in different roles. We shouldn't just be talking about the president or the vice president. You know, it's way, way deeper than that. You got issues in your own city and you talking about Donald Trump and Joe Biden and you didn't vote for the mayor. That's stuff that I'm worried about. And that's the stuff that I want to educate people my age and even whoever come in there to really what's going on. And I say that's kind of how we prepare, like everybody really getting in that mode to sit down and learn about what's going on so we get some change. Because we wasn't happy when Donald Trump came to Chick-fil-A and didn't, and that's kind of, or we wasn't happy when Joe Biden came.
Go. Give more details about the Donald Trump visiting Chick-fil-A.
So
for those that didn't see it.
Donald Trump visited Chick-fil-A, and while he visited there, a Spelman College student took a picture with him. A Clark alumni person took a picture with him, and we really didn't like. I'm not gonna say myself. I don't have nothing against it. If that's what you support, that's you. To me, it's the he's a. I mean, of course, that's a chess move. He came to close to the Atlanta University Center and got all that publicity. So us as black kids, black students, first year voting, y'all know I'm in here. Y'all know I'm present. Like I'm coming to see what y'all got going on. It was a nice move that he had, just like Joe Biden being the commencement speaker at Morehouse. Like I understand what they're doing, but I also think these are spaces that I don't know. I don't feel like these spaces aren't for them, in my best way to say it, because it's just like us as students, and especially me. I'm learning. I was in my political science class as he was there, and it's like we're learning about politics and what's going on for real, and seeing you try and move like that. Kind of like how all the rappers right now are posting Donald Trump. It's kind of like it's not a good look for us. It's like people haven't even looked up who they're supporting or what they're doing. Now, that's what I'm saying. If you truly support him and you know his beliefs and you know what he says, and that's all you, fine. But I feel like a lot of these people who support him don't know, and they feel like it's the. I hear a lot of people bring up the COVID checks that we got, the 1,400. Like he gave us money when it was, but politics isn't just the president. Like that's a continuous moving line. Like that's Congress, the Senate, then it gets to the president. So we can't just give him all of that.
It's definitely a marketing move, especially when you look at the world is so much driven by social media,
Right.
and that social media energy. What can I do that's gonna stand out? I mean, Donald Trump is a celebrity.
He is
More or less, he's a celebrity. So he can easily flip a picture with the college student and say they support me or they do this or they do that, and in turn you just taking a picture with a former president.
Yep.
So we definitely have to be aware of what social media is feeding us, the gimmicks, the trade-offs.
Yep.
Like, do I really want to blow up my social media page just to say that? I mean, even for entertainers, I can post Donald Trump, and that's gonna give me
traction. Somebody gonna say
traction. It's
something.
gonna get me in the cycle. It's gonna get my name heard. It's gonna give me more streams. So we just have to be careful of what we sell ourselves for.
Be careful and be ready to combat it. Like for a long time, I've always, well not always, well since Donald Trump been president, we've seen a lot of African American rappers support him. But to me, it was never something I was gonna repost and not bash, but like educate my social media on, because it was like, does somebody really care that so and so support Trump and that they shouldn't because of this reason? But like thinking about it now, that matters, because seeing if you're a young-minded person and you see your favorite rapper, your favorite person that you support the most, and they with somebody they support the most, you're probably 9 times out of 10 you're just gonna go with it. Like, okay, Donald Trump's probably not that bad. He ain't with him. So educating and posting that, reposting it, and saying this is wrong for these reasons is something that we need to start doing so people can know. And then always just be ready. What I say is with political stuff, like if you support Donald Trump or support Joe Biden, be ready to say why. Because somebody like me, I'm going to ask you why. I'm going to always ask you, are you voting? What's going on? Like, do you care about politics? That's just stuff that I would ask. And that's what we need to do more as a people, is have these conversations. Yeah, I guess you could say they boring, but they matter. Like, that is our way of life. This is the leader of our people. This is who the person is for the next 4 years is going to lead the country. So if you don't know who you voted for or don't know who it's about to be, you should probably get educated on that.
So this is one thing I'm going to challenge you to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this could be a campus community service project.
Okay.
I'm going to challenge you to ensure that your campus votes and they understand how to do an absentee ballot. Because I'm sure you got people from all over the country. I'm sure most of them are registered at home.
Yeah, but not in Georgia.
But not in Georgia. So just making sure they're aware of what they need to do and how soon, what those deadlines are, how soon they need to get their ballots in or do whatever it is you do. I've never done an absentee ballot, so I can't speak on it. But that would be something for you to educate your campus on when it comes election time. The importance of, vote. But I know when I was in college, it was more difficult to vote. In fact, when I was in college, I did an absentee ballot one time, and I think you had to have a notary.
Yep.
And the lady in the registrar's office wanted to charge us to notarize our vote. And it was kind of a deal, like, come on, like, we're trying to vote. And she's like, well, I'm a notary, I got to get my paper too. I forget how it turned out. We did get our ballots in, but educate, and maybe it's finding some notaries that are willing to notarize those votes for free or at a discount at student rate.
Yeah.
But that's an excellent political project that can bring awareness to campus.
Definitely. I do want to do something like that. I know one of the guys I was talking to, one of the conferences I was in Atlanta, he told me when he went to Clark, he did a campaign where it said that girls like guys that vote. And they got a whole bunch of people to vote. So that's kind of my plan. I do want to come up with something catchy and cool, catch a whole bunch of people's eyes that probably wouldn't vote, like stuff like
Right.
girls that got. That's a good idea. I might take that from him.
That reminds me, you need to meet Lee May.
We may.
Lee May, he was a graduate from Sumner Academy on the Kansas side,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's still in it. He's like in the Decatur area. He may have been mayor of Decatur
Okay.
for a while, but he's from Kansas City.
Okay.
He's also a pastor, so no, I got to connect you with him as well.
Definitely.
I mean, the path is very similar,
Mm-hmm.
very very similar, and he's done well in that area. So what else, man? Socially, like the social aspects, do you feel like you were able to adjust? I mean, did you lose your mind first semester? Or
Yeah.
you did.
So
were you overwhelmed?
it was just so much. So I don't know how to put it. So the whole summer before we left, I was kind of just ready to leave, just hurry up and get out of here. And then when I did leave and I got there and my parents left me and it was just me, I was like, what's next? Because it's gonna sound crazy when I say this, but a senior in high school mentally is nowhere near a second year freshman in college. Just because it's so much of a. I went from my senior year. Parents pick me up. I'm going home every night. I'm getting a meal. I'm doing homework or whatever, and then I'm going up getting to school the next day, or everything over again. And then on the weekend, I get a little bit of freedom, but I have to be home at a certain time or do something. In college, it's no curfew. You might not know what your next meal is. You don't know. It's just like time is yours.
Right.
So that's adult life. So being in adult life, that was just like a big adjustment for me because I'm like, okay, now I can make my own decisions. Like I'm used to my mama telling me to get up and do this, and I was like, oh, nobody gonna tell me to get up for class.
So do you hear your mama's voice? Like, I do need to clean my room.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what you start to be like. You be like, I hear my mama's voice, but she not here. So should I listen? Or like with class, like that was my biggest thing first semester. Like I was like at a third week into college, and we was taking classes. I was like, there's nobody telling me to get up to go to this class, to stay in this class. Even in college, if you get up and take your backpack and walk out the class, they're not gonna say nothing. They're not gonna stop you. They're not gonna get the door. They're not gonna yell. They're not gonna call you, email you.
Mm-hmm. It's on you.
And I was like, to me, that gave me too much freedom. I was like, well, nobody gonna tell me to do it. Let's see how often I want to do it. And that's when you start playing with fire. So I will say, use those people in your head that used to tell you to do stuff. Because that's what I think about. When I was second semester, I thought about what my mom would be thinking if she saw me here laying all day.
So are you kind of like thanking your mama right now?
Yeah, my mama.
Low key.
Yeah, my mama. Everybody really, because it was just so much being by myself from the city. Because if you know me as a person, that's a big part of me. So not being here, just kind of like I had to find myself not as a Kansas City. Like I had to find myself in Atlanta and not Kansas City. I'll say that. Yeah.
And it can be tricky. Like
Mm-hmm.
I remember the end of my freshman year, I was ready to come home.
Yeah.
Because I just felt like we were saying earlier, it's a black school, you're full of black people, but everybody
Has their own stuff.
has their own stuff, their own style, and even this is gonna be a whole nother discussion. But I feel like sometimes going to HBCUs, especially Atlanta University Center, you have a lot of kids that are when they first get there, they're acting black. Like they haven't been around.
Real.
They haven't. I mean, it's just a difference, right?
Yeah,
it's
it
not
really
right.
is.
It's not wrong.
Yeah.
Like they were one of 6 or 7 at their high school. They grew up in the suburbs,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're going to get the quote unquote black experience and feel like they have to be a certain way. When in reality,
You don't.
they could just be themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes up for the diversity. But you have a good number of people who you feel like are like. You overly doing what you think it means to be black, or you overly like that's not natural for you to be this way.
Right.
And I felt that way. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm uncomfortable because one thing I think I say about Kansas City is I think is a very what's the best way? Very down to earth.
Yeah.
Like people from Kansas City
to the
are
point.
very down. Like it's not. a luxurious, overly materialistic
We
place,
just yeah.
and we spend time with people and not things.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that can be difficult when you have 18, 19-year-olds trying to position, I'm the man, it's the woman,
Yeah.
I'm on top, on top. It can materialism, social likes can come into play. In reality, and it does get better
Yeah.
throughout the course of your matriculation in college. But that first year is just awkward and weird because everybody's trying to position and be something and be different or whatever. But it's an amazing experience. I'm excited to see how this sophomore year is going to kick off. I know it's going to be amazing.
I can't wait to get back. I can't.
So what would you tell, like your brother, he's a senior in high school now.
Not tell my brother.
What are you telling him about choosing the college, preparing for college, enjoying his senior year, and doing all those things? Like, what advice are you giving him?
I would definitely say highlight that big. Enjoy. I know this sound like cliche, but that's real life. Enjoy being a kid. Enjoy like structure, like but somebody else making your structure, not you. Like enjoy the high school. Like you can wake up at 7, you out of class by 2, and hopefully your senior year you just playing sports, so you just got football practice and nothing else to do. I would say make sure you get your work done. Obviously get a good GPA. My brother plays sports, and I wanted to play sports coming out of high school too. I actually still do, but really get that focus on that. Like really make sure you understand that they tell you that being a college athlete is a job, but it legitimately is. Like those football players in my school, we're not that good. My school is 0 and 10. You still don't see them. They practice all times of the night, all times of the morning. You can tell when a football player, because you won't be doing nothing all day, and you'll see them in the same football stuff you see them in at 8 o'clock when you got up for your first class, and you'll see that at 6:30. So be ready for that. I'll say be open to change. I think that's what my biggest thing that pushed me back my first semester was. Kansas City, Andrew, from when he graduated, doesn't have to be the same as me the rest of my life. And that's kind of what I was like debating myself with, like, are you switching on the city? Are you switching on yourself? And it was like, nah, I'm just better. And like me wearing the suits, just being more, like putting more of an image out there on what I want to do in life and not, because like if you've been around me, everybody knows I've been in politics, but I never really pushed it. Like the city doesn't know me for that. I'm not known for that. And that's kind of what I was debating myself back and forth, like, do you really want this? And then I feel like second semester I answered my question, like, yeah, like this is what I want, this is what you got to do. So I'll say that. I also say, if you're going somewhere far, get yourself mentally prepared to not have parents with you. Find a hustle, find a way to make some money legally. Find a way to make some money. And get you some friends. That is besides bad grades, I think that's the number one reason people leave college, because they can't find themselves or find their friends. But it's so easy to, like, at HBCU, it's eight U's. It's 8 people who want to do what you do, from where you from, seen what you seen, or kind of the similar. So just find them. Like, you got to be able to, like, open up, leave your dorm. Don't sit in your dorm all day. Leave your dorm, go outside. That's all really. Let me think of something else. Yeah, really, I'll say this: learn how to be an adult. I guess, like, enjoy the not freedom of being in high school, but also get yourself ready for the freedom. Learn how to cook. Cooking is big, especially for like me. I can cook for myself. Like I was always gonna be fine, but I know a lot of my friends, especially boys, or I mean men, they be like, "Bro, I'm hungry." It's only one place to cook in the dorm, and most of them not going to cook because they can't cook. They're not buying food to cook. So you really just, you eat snacks all day. So get your diet right, learn how to cook, learn how to clean properly. Because now the dorm is your house. You don't live with your mama no more. So me, I had my own dorm, so I can't even, if my dorm was
dirty. Did you have a
dirty,
roommate?
No, my second semester I didn't.
Wow.
So if my room was dirty and somebody come over there, I can't say, oh yeah, it's all on you. Everything is on you. And that's kind of what you just get ready for being by yourself, because that was hard for me. I had my 3 best friends, 15 minute walk away, but like you were saying, the time that you have by yourself in college is really, to me, is the real learning. Like, it would be some nights I'd just be sitting there like, what are we gonna do? And if you ask any of them that went with me, we all had the same thing. Like, bro, are we doing the right thing? Are we supposed to be here? Do I want to go back home? And if that's your, if that's your choice and that's what you think is best for you to do that, but really realize why you're there. Like, I had to realize that I'm here for a reason. Like, I got to Clark Atlanta for a reason. I got a scholarship for a reason. People keep picking me for these positions for a reason. Like, people are feeding it to me for a reason. So be the reason. Like, understand that you are you for a reason.
That's
So
dope. That's dope. No, that's real. So coming home, like, I'm sure you missed home.
Yeah.
You've been home for what, like almost a month now?
Mm-hmm.
Are you itching to get back, or are you enjoying the ride? Like,
So I'll say I went through different phases of miss. So the first time I came back for first semester was, what was that, winter break, I think. Well, I came back Thanksgiving, but winter break really, I miss home because I miss Kansas City.
right.
The second time, spring break, I didn't want to go to class. Like, school was so getting, because I was just doing so much. I was like, all right, let me get a break. And now I feel like I'm here to build myself at home, like build up, like show people at home what I've learned this year away, build a name politically here. So that's why I say I wanted to come home, because I just wanted to get back to the city and show off not my new self, but my new and improved self, I guess. And then of course see my parents, see my people, hang out. But that's really why I'm back right now, like for so long, to try and do so much here.
So what's amazing to me, and this is from like Coach Chris' perspective. Like, I was with y'all all last summer, and in all honesty, I expected it this summer to be like last summer. Like, y'all hung out all day, all night long, friends over. But to see all of you mature so quickly is unbelievably amazing.
It's weird.
I mean,
too.
like, y'all were, what would I say? Y'all were like y'all were the boys with the crew the whole time. It was pretty much like a fraternity household.
Yeah, it really was.
But now to see everybody waking up, going to work, doing different things, interning different places, that development is amazing. So I'm very proud of you. Very proud.
Thank you. It's definitely like, it's eye opening, but like it also saddened me, because it's like, dang, the stuff we used to do isn't. I mean, it's just not the move no more. But I miss it sometimes. But that is true. Like, Zay's in Africa, Braden's in DC with an internship, Marcus in Atlanta with an internship. They got a own crib in Atlanta. I'm here getting it on. I work at Target. I got internships in other places. It's like, it is crazy. I kind of thought the same thing. I was like, we gonna all be here. We gonna hang out a whole bunch. But we all trying to get better, so we can't hang out again and do it again, but with some money, a whole bunch of money, and our own another HQ in Atlanta.
Right. So no, it's definitely coming. I'm excited for the future. Excited for what y'all have in store. Give a shout out to like Clark Atlanta.
Shout out.
Rep your school a little bit. Like, what makes Clark Atlanta Clark Atlanta?
So I'll say this. This is biased, but I think I got the best school in AUC. And I feel that way just because Clark got everything. So everybody want to go to Morehouse because it's a prestigious school. It's all boys. Clark is prestigious. It got girls and boys. Just like Spelman, it's prestigious. It got all girls.
Right.
Clark is also a university, so we have graduate schools. It's a bigger campus, more people. So I don't know. And Clark politically, it's probably out of all of the schools in the AUC, I feel like politically this is the most radical school. So whenever real change happens to me in Atlanta or in the AUC, Clark is usually the one that affects it. Now, of course, there's been politicians. I went to Morehouse and Spelman, but Clark is the ones, we're more radical. Like W. Du Bois was a professor at Clark. I think he was a professor at Morehouse too, but Clark first at Atlanta University.
Right.
And just having a foundation like that, like, just think of somebody like that. Like, he went against all the odds back then. He telling us to, get more educationally empowered. And that's not an idea that was heard of back then, because it's fresh off slavery. Everybody just trying to find themselves. But he telling you to go learn, go read some books, go learn what these people actually did to us. And that's why I really do shout out Clark. Find a way or make one. Before leaving the city, I was so I was trying to find any way to get to Morehouse. Like, I'm gonna transfer over next semester, transfer over next year. But realizing that I'm there for a reason and that my friends are there for a reason kind of helped me because it's like I get the Morehouse experience. I'm always with them, but I'm a Clark man. They Morehouse man, we Clark, and I feel like us together we close the bridge of a lot of. If you in the AUC, you know the schools are disconnected in a way, and I don't know why. It's weird, but us being cool like that from home and not even just a college relationship, we can close the bridge and more Morehouse people hang out with Clark, vice versa, Spelman. You know, that's kind of what I want to do. I want to involve, get more of the AUC together. Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff that I think they could do to get us more involved. Like, we got a library together, but why not just give us all one cafeteria? Like, imagine if we all went to, we got this Spelman guy. Don't they got like fast food in their cafeteria?
I think their food is probably better.
Exactly. So I'm saying you can do everything. You can,
Right.
we would
Just
be able
work
to,
collectively on
right.
stuff. Yeah.
We got our own library. We might as well get our own, not really our own everything. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I feel like it could be a lot more connected, but definitely shout out to Clark. Changed my life.
Clark changed your life. That's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Last question. Well, it might not be the last question, but this summer has been particularly hot, violence-wise, in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Do you think going away and coming back that you see that from a different perspective, or how do you see it? Now that you're not necessarily in it, but you see it from a distance, and now you hear like, whoa.
So when I lived here all the time, it was a understood violence. Like, I understand it because I know what's going on. I live here. I know the people that's a part of it. And I was like, okay, I understand it. Moving away and, you know, obviously trying to repair the black community and put us back together, put us together, it made me look at it like, you can definitely change this or, you know, get a new mindset with it. And that's kind of how I've been approaching it since I've been back. That's why I've been pushing like my new and improved self, not because the old person is bad, but because I feel like if more of them or more people see it's stuff like this going on in Kansas City and less of the murder, we'll get less murderers and less killings because it's like, this is the popular thing. Like you said, Kansas City is real simple. The reason that most street stuff go on is because that's the popular thing. People see that. That's how you get the girls. That's how you get money, popularity. Now, if you see that the straight and narrow way is cool, like I'm trying to show people, then more people will go this way, and then I feel like we get some change. And then I also feel like being somebody that's involved in politics is connecting all of this to like a bigger problem. Like Kansas City has a lot of violence, but we don't have strict gun laws. Like it's a lot of stuff that we should question, or that I'll say myself that I should have questioned, but I lived here. I'm like, that's just normal, but it's not. It's not normal. Like that's what I want people to get to their heads. Like, of course, people die every day. I'm not ever not saying that, but the way it happens in the city, and just like the closeness, like people are really beef with their cousin, and they don't even know why. They don't know what this started from, with this really how long it been going on, and to me that's the issue. Like, I'm all for it. Let's do something as a collective unit and do this if we really feel this way. But we got to have all the details and all the material. And the way that Kansas City is right now, especially with killings and violence, nobody doesn't. It's like nobody knows the full story to nothing. People just out here doing. And that's why I came back home. I feel like it's my job to, you know, let's close this out. Because we for sure, and I feel like the politicians, people in the city haven't even tried. They haven't even reached this yet. Like, Mayor Quentin Lucas hasn't went to the hood and hasn't had no black convention where we getting the young black kids that's what's going on in the city and getting involved and talking to them and sitting them down. Nobody has done that, and that's kind of something I want to do. I want to get them, sit people down and get these conversations out, because that's what the problem is. Like, most people are into it with somebody because of communication. We communicated something wrong, and now we into it, and neither one of us got enough pride to say, let's stop. So once we get that into our city and get that out, we'll get less violence. And that's just how I feel about it.
So are you going Kendrick Lamar or are you going Drake?
Ooh, this might go viral. So me personally, I like Drake more as a rapper. And I always say this, people say Kendrick Lamar is a better rapper than Drake, but if we did a consensus or a vote, more people know Drake's songs than Kendrick. So if you listen to something more than the other one, it's probably better, ain't it?
Nah, you can't even have that argument. You just sit here and talk about politics. Like, is it politics popularity or is what's better? What's deeper? What's right? I mean, this is your words.
But this is okay. Wait. First of all, we can't make an analogy from rappers to politics.
You
So that's
can't,
in
but
my
you,
opinion.
you said more people liking Drake makes him better.
Okay, and even
So-
I get
so-
deeper into it.
So more people voting for somebody, does that make that candidate better, or that just means they
It
wouldn't?
sounds like more people enjoy him. It sounds like he's doing what he's supposed to
I'm
do.
just asking.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
so. And then also with that, I don't know. I've never heard nobody. So Lil Wayne is like one of the best lyricists of all time. Jay-Z. People give me Jay-Z and the Lil Wayne bar and be like, "This is why they that lyricist." Never heard somebody. I ask people like, I'll be having this conversation with them, like, "What's the Kendrick bar that made you stop the song and be like, dang?" I can't think of it. And I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan. I listen to a lot of his music. It's just like I just can't find it. But Drake has that. Drake has lyrics where we like, dang.
So I think it's, and I'm not defending one or the other.
Mhm.
I'm just asking, just taking a poll.
Mhm.
But like on TikTok, I get a lot of good information from TikTok.
Yeah.
Like if I listen to a Kendrick Lamar song, I hear it. And I'm like, okay. But then when I hear people break down all the different layers of what he had into it, it makes it more impressive.
Which I was gonna say that too. That's good that his music does that, and that's what makes his music enjoyable. But to the common fan or somebody just listening to music, they're not looking into the music and diving into, okay, this is really a poem that's deeper than this. This is about a real story of his life.
So you're saying it depends on like what the music is for. Like if you want to party and dance
Exactly.
and listen and have a good time, maybe this
But I
is
feel
your
like
guy.
Drake can do both. Drake can be the club guy, and then he could be a guy to sit down and give you 16 bars when you talking about something. But Kendrick can too. I just don't feel like it's a.
From the songs that went back and forth, do you think that Drake's songs were
Okay.
better?
So, I'm gonna say this. I listen to Family Matters and I listen to Not Like Us. Not Like Us is a banger, but not because of him dissing. It's just a song. Like it's like, okay,
Just
it's Not Like
get
Us,
you.
right? So it's not like when I listen to the lyrics, even when he dissing them, he not really saying nothing for real. Family Matters is a diss song. Like that whole song is dedicated to dissing him. So I'll say Kendrick won the battle of people listening. Like more people gonna say he won because they're listening to it. You know, Not Like Us is number one, been number one. But in terms of dissing, because to me a diss battle, I guess in rap, it's kind of weird. They're really just bringing up your old secrets, because they used to be cool. So he bringing up old stuff, and I feel like Drake brought up more questionable stuff like Kendrick Lamar. Like I didn't know Kendrick Lamar beat his wife allegedly. Like
Right.
this is stuff like where that come from. Like when Pusha T said Drake had a kid, like Drake got a kid. Kendrick Lamar beating his wife. You know what I mean? It just doesn't fit his persona.
So let's flip it back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Politically speaking,
Mm-hmm.
do you want people to vote for you, subscribe to your messages, your way of life, or what you want to institute into the community
Mm-hmm.
because you have a good song, or because there's layers to it? It's deeper.
Mm. Hey, I don't know. I feel like to me, especially politically, the layers only matter if you know me and if you're similar to my story. Because even if somebody who hasn't lived the life I live sees the layers, they're gonna be like, okay, it's just they're looking at the baseline. So I don't know, but I won't support either way.
So I'm gonna challenge you in that. What I'm saying is like you see all the construction that's going on because you're here.
Mm-hmm.
Like they doing infrastructure,
Mm-hmm.
like new sewers.
Mm-hmm.
That's layers.
Right. That is
Because
layers.
if they're putting in new sewers now, they're putting in new buildings 15 years from now.
Yeah. Build new bridges and
So it's not just
yeah.
the right now aspect of it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's not just the surface level stuff. Like there's a multi-layered plan that's going on, And so I'm challenging you to make sure that when you start to build your infrastructure for your politics, that you understand that it has to be the end goal is way over here, and these are the steps that we're putting in place to get there.
Actually, I would. I agree with that. And the political mind does have to be. I probably would be more like Kendrick. I guess like from the. I hate to say it, but I guess from the baseline, like somebody baseline seeing me is it's not enough. Like there's so many other layers of me.
Right.
And I definitely agree with that. Like, and then I want to be able to tell the story on what I did at this point, this point, this point, and this point. So if it gotta happen again, or somebody else trying to follow my steps, this what I did, this what I did, this what I did, this what we needed at the time. So yeah, I agree with that. Like people, you do need to. The layers do matter. But Drake got layers too. So
Drake got layers. I got you. I mean, I'm just
yeah,
asking.
no, it's a legit question.
We just talking. Anything else that you need to get out? Anything else that you would like to say? Any shout outs you want to give? What's
shout out to my organization. I mean, of course, we already talked about it, but shout out to all my e-board members. Shout out to Clark, of course. Yeah, really shout out to Clark. Actually, shout out to AUC. You know, I know a bunch of people from everywhere. I don't know. I guess I'm in with some advice. I feel like I said a whole bunch of good stuff.
I got a question or observation.
Okay.
And I teased you heavily about it before you went to school. The fact that you didn't play football.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this for a second. Because, and I teased you about it. Tease is maybe not the right word, but I teased you about it or questioned you about it because I'll be honest, I didn't want you to play football. Just like, I can't say I didn't want you to. If you wanted to, that's something you should do. But as an adult, as a coach, I think sometimes we put too much emphasis on sports, and it causes the youth or the young people or our players to assume that you only go to college for sports. Like I've coached a lot of baseball, and people were surprised that Isaiah is not playing baseball in college. Like I didn't put that on him. I didn't play college sports, and I knew that all those extracurriculars that you named, you probably wouldn't have been able to do that if you were playing football.
Yeah.
And so there's so much more to college than sports. Sports are fun. You still, I'm still trying to compete in, everything, and there's a place for it.
Right.
But I don't want you to miss out on your college experience because you think sports are the only thing. And that's like the only thing that we really promote. Like nobody's promoting, Drew, go to college so you can start your own political organization. Nobody ever said that to you.
Nobody.
But that's probably
the more realistic,
equally fulfilling
than
and probably going to be even longer term fulfilling than had you played for a team that's 0-10. Not saying that they don't work hard and learn lessons longer. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's more to it. So it's hard to articulate that to somebody who, when you're 4 or 5 years old, the first thing the parents do is have you play sports. And that becomes, like, that's the most important thing. If you got a game, you don't go to church.
Right.
If you got a game, we don't go to this birthday party. Like, we put that on kids for that to be the most important thing, and then say, well, go to college. And so you've been trained for sports to run your life. So I'm excited that you're able to make the transition and realize that there's life outside of sports that are equally competitive, equally fulfilling.
It's hard, though.
Equally, and it is hard. But
to leave it alone, yeah.
But I think you would agree that you wouldn't have had all of these experiences that you named had you had to go to practice every day.
So I say when me and you talked and I wanted to play football so much, a lot of the time I spend in Kansas City just because of so much goes on here, so much stress. I used to be really angry, but you would never know how, like I'm an angry person because I'm just so, I'm funny, I'm cool with everybody. Like I'm always laughing, like you never see me mad. Football was that's my getaway. That's why whenever football season came, whenever we started practice, I was like, perfect. Now this amount of months that we're playing football, I'm not as angry because I get to hit somebody for free and legally, and it's never like nothing wrong with it.
Right.
And that's kind of what drove me because all I kept thinking was, what you gonna do in Atlanta when you get mad, or if you already mad, you don't have nothing to, you have no outlet. And that's all I kept thinking about.
You think you still have those levels of anger?
No, I'll say not playing football has made me more calmer and more, like I'll say, like I'm not as mad. Like I'm quicker to think, and less likely to do something. And I won't blame football to that totally, but that's just what it was for me. Like I just always, that's why I was so big on playing it. It was something that it got the anger out of me. I used to, I mean, eventually you can make money from it. You know, it's a cool popularity thing. You can look good while you playing. But it was just really just a mental health thing for me. Like this is what I feel like that's what I needed to get through the year. And I will say like adjusting and living life without it. It has been hard because it's like I feel like my body knows too. Like my body be hurting because we know what we used to. I know around this time of year, last June, well not last June, the June before that, we was at practice every day. I was going to work, going to practice, going to a trainer.
You still get some exercise in.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I still get exercise, but the football, like, it's really crazy. So, baseball, basketball, really all the other sports, you can do it recreationally, and it'll still be that. Like, it'll still feel like you hooped in high school, like a lot of people like to get back to. Football that you play, like football, and once it's over, like really over, it's
You're
over.
not gonna put on the
Nobody
pads.
just go put on pads and go hit each other at the park.
Here's a funny story. So I was saying when I played football in high school, loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I was good.
Yep.
I know I'm small, but I was good.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah,
I was solid. So football in Kansas City is not football in Texas. I say that. Shout out to B Will.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to B Simon. Shout out to all them boys from Texas.
Yeah,
they tightened me up real quick. We went and played. It was a Sunday. They were like, "Oh man, we're gonna go to the park and play football." And so I'm thinking in my mind, like you said, we ain't got no pads.
Yeah,
we're going to play like 7-on-7 flag football, 2-hand touch. Well, we got out there. They play full tackle football.
Yep.
They dropping shoulders, running people over. I was like, no.
Another thing with football is injuries. So now that I'm thinking about my life in the big span, I can't tear my ACL because I gotta walk to class. Yeah. I gotta go stand up and do a speech. I gotta go talk to somebody. Like this can't. I don't know. Like I still want to play football. Just don't get me wrong. I still love it. I still would, because my dorm is right by the field, so that didn't help. I used to hear them every morning waking up, and I still miss the grind of the game. But I know what the game helped me get to where it needed to help me get to. Like I never, at a certain point, I got old enough. I was like, you're probably not going to NFL. Not probably. You're not going to NFL. That's out of the question. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you could for sure make it to college. Like I'm 100%. I still feel like right now I'm 100% I can play college football. But football did what it had to do. It got me to college. I got a scholarship. And then it put me into a position where I'm healthy. Like I know how to move. I'm not a small guy. And then I can still have fun with, like you said, I can still play 7v7 sometimes. But I feel like now more of my passion isn't to play, it's to coach. Like I kind of want to, that's another future thing I guess I'll talk about. I want to make my own sports organization. Like Mr. Evans got, he got I Am King, you got the baseball team. I heard you had a basketball team back in the day. Yeah. That's something I want to do. All my friends, we all have our particular sport. Like I'm a football guy, Zay's baseball. We got Israel, he plays college basketball. We have the dream team for coaches. And I'm like, so why not, let's do it. Especially we all live in these different parts. We can make a team in Kansas City, go back to Atlanta, make a team there. And Kansas City never gonna get publicity like Atlanta, so have them two play each other every year. Now we got like a Super Bowl between KC and Atlanta, and now it's like a connection deeper than anything that I would have done in college. And then you start the connection way younger. It's gonna be like 8-year-olds playing each other back and forth. And you're like, okay, now I know him and he live in Atlanta and I live in Kansas City. And that's just stuff I want to do because I remember.
Sports is an excellent platform to get to the youth.
Because I remember being in the city. That's all I had. Like when I played football, I was like, okay, this is how everybody that I really know and that I build a relationship with. If I didn't go to school with them, I met them through sports. Just because that's what you do in the city, and I want to bring that back to us. Like we're not the sports teams aren't as much as involved as I feel like we used to be. Like football season in Kansas City in the summer, you could drive past the field. It's somebody practicing. it's some team, it's a new organization coming out.
Right.
It's a new team beefing with this one just because they just want to play each other so bad. And maybe because I'm getting older and I'm disconnected, but I just feel like I don't hear it or see it as much anymore. I don't hear about Little League Super Bowls or nothing. Like, they used to be big when I was a kid. Like, that was even the grown people was like,
It's changed a lot with so many tournaments
Yeah.
and all of these programs where they want you to do it year round and train year round. It kind of spreads everything out and it's killed the actual league.
yeah,
Like where it was just one, everybody had to play in South Suburban football.
yep, that's what
So
made
that's
it.
that. Everybody was there. Now you got 4 or 5 leagues spread out. Some of them travel. So it's just it strips you of that community aspect of youth sports because everybody wants to just spend a lot of money and go other places with it.
And that's what I'll be trying to, like, me, I got far in my football career, but not because we spent money, but because, like, I always believed in the idea if you're good enough, they'll find you.
Right.
Like, everybody wants to leave, and this is me just going on the rant. Everybody wanted to leave Lincoln because they feel like we're not the best football team in the city. But Lincoln has academics, so when your college coach look at your high school, and be like, oh, they got 4.0s over there,
Right.
and he could play football a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why not give him a scholarship? And that's why I stayed, and I feel like Lincoln embedded me in so many ways. Just besides being in the classroom, like, that name means something. Like, I didn't really understand what it meant in high school because it's just Lincoln. I'm in Kansas City. Everybody know what it is. But when you go to Atlanta and somebody say, "Oh yeah, I know somebody from Lincoln," and yeah, that they was real smart. They did this. I'm like, this high school meant something. Like, everything I did was for a reason. People put me in stuff for a reason.
For sure. For sure. Any closing remarks? Sign up. Oh, let's circle back to Senegal.
hmm
And you get to Senegal.
yeah.
What will it mean for you to raise enough money to go to Senegal?
I mean, honestly, it mean the world. Cause just that to me, something like that, like money is something that I never wanted. I never want that to be my the reason I can't do something. Cause I feel like life is more than money. So if I can overcome that step, then that'll just be big to me. Cause it's like, okay, that means now that I know how to raise money at this level and I can do this for a service trip, how hard would it be me to raise money for my campaign? And that's what I keep thinking about. Like, everything is a stepping stone to something else. Like, I'm not, kind of like how you're saying there's layers. Like, I'm not ever just looking at Andrew in June of 2024. We're looking at what I want to do 2 or 3 years from now. But I live in the present. But what I'm saying is I'm always thinking, let's do this now, enjoy it now. But remember that this now can get you there. And that's what I say. That's a good end of the market. Yeah.
Move, there it is then.